Sorry about the noise. It's a bit of a heat wave here. I got fans going and everything else. Yeah, I went for a ride tonight, and for whatever reason, the battery cut out a little premature. So what I'm doing now, I don't know if maybe the heat sensor is going off. They don't feel very warm. I'm trying to find the lowest cell. Right now, this one's the culprit. This is the lowest one compared to any of them. But then again, it's on the very, very leading edge of the battery itself. Like, that's the negative and that's the positive. So it could get more drain through that the setup that we have there. Now what you could do is you can move this cell over to here and move this cell over to here and see if there's a difference. But I don't even, like, these are over 10 years old. So I'm just going to guess. What I'm doing now is I'm running the BMS down to cutoff, which is almost there, with this heater that I showed you in the last video, which actually works really well. And what I'll be doing is taking this cell out, putting this one that's good over here, and then I'm just going to take this one and put it in there. Eventually all these will be replaced with my custom pack that I build. These single cells here, there's 4 of them. Got 8 amp hours each. Well, each cell is 6 amp hours each, and there's 4 of them. But when you put them together, it's like half the size of this pack. And when these are all replaced, it'll be much lighter and much smaller. But I'm slowly going away. I'm slowly replacing them as I go along. So that's the next one to go. As you can see, I got a few over there. And I'll just keep doing that. And I'm looking at $60 a pop. By the time you calculate one of these new cells, which are about $60 a pop, plus your shipping, which is another $20 because of the hazmat, it's cheaper to go this way. Amazon already takes care of the shipping and everything else. And I just basically picked these up. You've seen in my previous videos, I just picked these up. These are a good source for pulls. I don't care about the cases. I can reuse the case. Yeah, see, it's still dropping. This is the one when it's under load, just goes right up to cutoff, which is really irritating. Because if I go to any other cell, most of them hang at 325, 321. This is normal. I ended up marking it last time because I found that last time it was low. So I'm just basically going to drain it down to cutoff, and the lowest cell goes. And this one's a winner so far. It's still draining, so I'll let you know. Well, one thing I would like to do is I'd like to put some kind of LED or light on this heater, so when it does hit cutoff, it basically shuts off. It's not done. It's not finished yet. I still gotta put a connector and everything on. I'm still under test, but it actually works pretty good. Then you can heat a room up with it too. I've tried it with higher voltage. Well, I mean, it'll go up to 120 volts. I tried it with 79 volts. It gets hot fast, but it does work. So, well, let's see what the lowest cell is. Rip it out. I don't remember when I made this pack, but I didn't do what I did with these ones here. I draw a lot of amps, obviously, because I have two 500-watt motors. So what I do is I take solid copper and I will solder it like that. Helps carry the load. Other than that, I find the tin is way too thin and it overheats, and these cells get pretty hot. But when you solder this in like that, they just don't get hot. These ones here work great, and they're like that. I basically you see how thick this wire is here? Like, all 4 cells are connected to that. So I've had no problems with that, and they were an issue. It took a couple of rides before I finally figured out how to get rid of the heat, and that was just double up on the wire. So I think this solid copper here should do the trick. Just tack it there, there, and there. Same thing with the other side. You don't have to put a lot of heat on it. Just use something that gets hot enough. I use this hand soldering gun versus the little one there. So this has to be done before it even goes in there. Oh, let's see what we're at. 285. I know if it was under load, it would already be right in the cutoff. but the heater's still warm, so it's not cut off yet. I actually got a few of them. I'd say maybe 3 that are cut off low enough. This is probably the worst one here. So now I'm going to take this one over and put it down here, and take this one out. Not much swelling, which is good. So this one will go in like this. This is a different mold though, it might not fit. It's gonna be tight. Yikes. Whoa, don't touch together. You gotta make sure these BMS leads don't start bouncing around and touching everything else. Like that for now. Let's figure out how we're going to dig this one out. Probably flathead screwdriver, I'm guessing, without puncturing it. Give me a minute. Surprisingly, it's not swollen. Let's make sure we get the polarity right. Now what we're going to do is leave the negative off until we get this over here figured out. It's positive. So it's going to go this way. It's negative. Shit. That might have just killed the BMS. Fuck. With my luck, it did. And you saw the death of my BMS. Guess we'll find out. Idiots. Should have untaped it and disconnected it. Anyway, let's keep going. See what else we can blow up. Yeah, this is going to be a tight fit. I don't think this is going to work. God damn it. It's way too freaking tight. What I need to do is cut the plastic just to relieve some of the pressure, which is still doable. Shit. Need something to cut that with. Cut this video short because it took a while to get this dialed in. I had to get bolts and nuts and everything else, but it's in there. It's not moving around. It can take a little bit of abuse. Nothing's going to short, and I don't think I damaged the BMS. But then again, it might not. If it was this one here, it might not charge that. It might not balance that cell properly now because it's burnt out. But it is taking a charge, so I'm gonna monitor it and see, make sure everything is kosher. As long as it still has cut off and the cells are somewhat balanced, then I guess we'll be all right. I'll let you know. It's gonna take a couple of hours because I just came back from a ride, but she's good to ride again. It's climbing. Works. Got a resistor here from an old speaker box that actually works pretty good without overheating and stinking up the place. It's 4 ohm. I really can't read the writing on it, but it's warm, but it's not hot, so that's perfect. I got a fan on it anyway, just in case. But it's doing a good job of bringing it down slowly. Could see it should drop in the boat. Come on. Still working? Still warm. There it goes. Yeah, so that's how slow it's going. So I don't have to worry about undercharging it or under discharging it. I'll check on it in about half an hour and it should bring it down to 330, and then I can plug it back in and charge it up. You know, one thing I should have did, this is the day after, by the way, I'm still trying to balance it because what I should have did is fully charge the battery, then switch the cells. I don't know why I didn't do that. So now what I'm doing is I'm bleeding it and charging it and bleeding it and charging it, which is a pain in the butt. But I'm thinking about at the end of its cycle, everything is pretty much in the 340s, which is ready to roll over, so. It's never good when you test it. It says 334, 335, but when you put it under load with the charger, it says 340. So it's getting to the end. It's a pain in the butt. Just gotta wait for this to bring it down to 330 and go over again. Well, it ain't pretty, but it'll work. I'm actually kind of blown away with this DALY BMS. Has not fried. Unbelievable. It should have fried. This when this grounded out or went over here, it should have fried the balance circuit inside this BMS. It did nothing. Still balances, still shuts off when it's fully charged. There's a cutoff, still works. I totally tested everything. So I will be sticking with these from now on. I mean, I've blown up a few BMSs in my time, and this is the first time I've used one that survived something like that. So this is pretty good BMS. I'm going to stick with this brand. But as you can see, it ain't pretty, but it'll work for now. And as I go along, I'll just keep replacing them, and it lightens it up more and more. A little bit more capacity as well. So there, guys.